Well, Doug Christie may not be able to say anything without getting fined, but I sure as hell can. Mark Davis, that was one of the worst calls I have ever seen at the end of an NBA game, period. An absolute hose job by the referees, stealing a win from the Sacramento Kings. Are the officials in on the tank here in Sacramento? There's no other explanation. We'll talk about it and Maxime Reynaud right here on Locked On Kings.
You are Locked On Kings, your daily Sacramento Kings podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time for another episode of Locked On Kings.
Hello and welcome into Locked On Kings, your podcast hub for Sacramento Kings coverage all season long. My name is Matt George. I have the privilege of being your host here. I'm a Sacramento sports anchor and reporter for ABC 10 News, and I just got off the air at doing the newscast for ABC 10 where I had to be all professional and buttoned up. Now I can let it all loose. The Kings had that game won. The final buzzer literally sounded. The Sacramento Kings won this game 133-132. Until Mark Davis decided, no, I'm going to blow the whistle now and call a foul on Russell Westbrook that, one, wasn't a foul, and two, that Mark Davis was so far behind the freaking play, I don't know how in his right mind he could ever call a foul in the first place. What an insane foul call to steal a win away from the Sacramento Kings. They lose 134-133, no beam. They're now 6-21 on the season. The Kings battled back from down 18 with like 4 and some change minutes remaining. This game was over. It was done with. And then the Kings come roaring back at I think it was a 19-3 run over the final couple of minutes of this game, capped off by DeMar DeRozan, who was sensational tonight, knocking down a corner three. Fourth quarter, DeMar DeRozan finally arrived. He knocks down a corner three to send this game to OT. And then the Kings, again, they had this game won. DeMar, patented isolation turnaround jumper, in his bag. It's the shot that he's hit 1 billion times in his career. Knocks it down. No timeouts for Portland. Denny Advia gets the ball, runs the full length of the floor. Quite literally, go back and watch it. There's no explanation. The last 2-minute report's going to be embarrassing tomorrow for the league. He quite literally forces the ball into the face of Russell Westbrook. Literally pushes the ball into his face. Russell Westbrook is not moving towards the ball handler. Russell Westbrook is backpedaling to avoid the contact and avoid fouling Denny, who had to force a horrible-looking runner prayer at the end of this game, where the only way he could win was being bailed out by the foul call. So he obviously went for it, initiated all the contact, used the ball to create separation and contact with Russell Westbrook, and still somehow it's a foul on Russ. I guess credit to Denny. He still had to step to the free throw line, knock down both free throws, which he did to win this game. But that is a horrendous call to make. And I'm joking, when I say the referee's in on the tank, it's the title of this episode, and we're going to have fun with it as much as possible. Because in all reality, if there's a close to best case scenario for how a Sacramento Kings game could go for the remainder of this season, this is pretty much it, right? There's so much about this game that was great. Doug Christie, after earlier in the week in practice talking about changing the focus now for the remainder of this season to developing the young guys and giving them opportunity, he stood by his word, right? A lot of young guys got a ton of playing time. Maxime Reynaud played, 37 or 39 minutes or something like that in this game. Max was fantastic. I can't wait to talk about him. We'll do that in just a second. Keegan Murray played over 40 minutes. Clifford got 20 minutes of action. Dylan Cardwell got 16 minutes of action. Keon Ellis got over 30 minutes of action, right? He lived up to what he said. The young guys got to play, and on top of that, many of them played well. Maxime Reynaud was unbelievable. And on top of that, they didn't just play minutes, they played meaningful minutes. They fought back. A lot of the young guys were on the floor during that comeback. Granted, so were Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan, who did their jobs in this game. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. And those guys, of course, were instrumental to the comeback. But the young guys were on the floor too. They got that opportunity to play these meaningful minutes and play in the overtime period. Not Nick Clifford, but Max and Keon at least, along with Keegan. Like meaningful minutes for these guys. The fight was superb. Like to not fold down 18 in the fourth quarter. Another quarter that it looked like, man, this Kings team in the fourth quarter, for some reason, they just completely fall apart offensively. It looked like it was going that way, and then suddenly they woke up. They went on this massive run. Like, phenomenal fight from the Kings. A super entertaining game. I don't think it's close. It's, well, I guess I can't really speak on it because I wasn't there for the Kings' overtime win in Sacramento against Minnesota. I was on vacation at that time, so maybe it's second to that. But for my money, from what I've seen, the most entertaining Sacramento Kings game so far this season. And the Kings lost. Like, we would have loved them to win, and I'm not going to celebrate a loss or anything like that. And I know those guys desperately wanted to win that game and don't care at all about a draft pick. But the Kings' loss puts them, again, still in great position with high draft lottery odds at this point in time. So there's still plenty of season left. Had they won this game, this is something they can put out on social media too. Had they won this game via DeMar DeRozan's game winner, like, it still would have been great, in my opinion, because of how well Max played and how much opportunity these young guys got. Like, that's a win where maybe you sacrifice a little bit of draft lottery position temporarily in order to get these guys that meaningful opportunity and win off the backs of these guys. But they still got all that opportunity. They still got that those important minutes. Max still shined. Kings still lose. They retain or maintain really, really good draft lottery position, even though we're not even to Christmas yet. We still got a long way to go before the draft lottery odds are going to be fully decided. Just a really, like, it's hard to find a better way to classify this game other than it was a great night for the Sacramento Kings in so many ways, other than that final result and that god-awful foul call that Mark Davis needs to be not investigated for. I won't go that far, but I know the referees have a review system and a grading system. Give that man an F and have him sit down and watch that over and over again and write, I will not make a terrible foul call like that again 100 times on a piece of paper so it really sets in. It was that bad of a foul call. I can't even imagine if he had done that at the end of a game between like two really good teams, or in the NBA Cup games, or in the NBA playoffs later this year, or next year. If he had done that, boy, I can't even imagine the meltdown. Maxime Reynaud was just superb in this game. Absolutely superb. 29 points, 10 of 20 from the field, 8 of 9 from the free throw line, 11 rebounds, 2 steals. Max has become so freaking good in the pick and roll. For so much of this game, the Kings scored 40 points in the first quarter. They did struggle offensively for the remainder of the game until that big fourth quarter push. But the offense looked fluid tonight. It looked like there was an identity. It was very pick and roll heavy. The Kings did not shoot a lot of threes. Portland did, but the Kings did not. They were not letting it fly from three-point range, and really nobody was hitting from three-point range for Sacramento in this game. But the spacing was good. The pick and roll offense was really, really sharp. There looked like some semblance of an identity for Sacramento offensively in this game, and Max was a massive part of that with the pick and roll. Now, I do acknowledge that Max is playing in the pick and roll primarily with Russell Westbrook. And Russ can make a lot of big men, regardless of if they're a second-round pick like Max or the best bigs in the world. He makes them look very, very good and very effective in the pick and roll. Russ has been essential for the development of Maxime Reynaud, and he deserves that credit. But we don't want to take everything away from Max, too. Max's touch around the rim looks really good. He's battling through contact and finishing strong. Remember the concerns back at the beginning of the season, or even going back to Summer League about, man, he doesn't play physical enough. He's soft in this area. He needs to go up stronger. He needs to be more aggressive. He can still get better. He will get bigger in terms of putting on muscle and putting on strength. But the way he plays, how he attacks physicality, how he doesn't shy away from it, that's already changed and improved so much over these first few months of his career. And it's got to make Sacramento Kings fans excited. Maxime Reynaud, I'll start it here on Locked On Kings. I'll be the first one to say it and start the campaign. Put Maxime Reynaud in the Rising Stars game. He deserves to be there. He's starting in place of Sacramento, or in place of Domantas Sabonis, who's out with an injury for the Kings, and he's playing really well on a fairly nightly basis as the 42nd pick in the freaking draft. Put him in the Rising Stars game. He absolutely deserves it with how he's playing. I want to see Max representing the Sacramento Kings to some capacity in All-Star Weekend. Really, Max might be the Kings' best chance of having anyone representing this franchise at All-Star Weekend at this point. Put Maxime Reynaud in the Rising Stars game where he belongs. Also want to shout out Dylan Cardwell. First time we've seen Dylan Cardwell play since November 1st, and he played really well in this game, gave the Kings 16 really good minutes. I like that Dylan Cardwell knows exactly the type of player that he is, and he plays his role really, really well, finishing around the rim, aggressively going for rebounds, blocking shots, right? I think he had 3 blocks in this game, if I'm not mistaken. Like, Dylan Cardwell knows his role in the G League. He started 13 games with the Stockton Kings, averaging a double-double, averaging like 2 steals and almost 2 blocks a game in the G League. He knows exactly who he is as a basketball player, and he provides something that the Sacramento Kings are lacking. I know Domantas Sabonis is going to come back at some point. Big man, take your time with that knee injury. The season is over. You don't need to rush yourself back. Give me 48 minutes a night of a Maxime Reynaud, Dylan Cardwell center rotation for as long as possible, please, and thank you, Doug Christie. But we got to talk about Keegan Murray, because once again, offensively, Keegan Murray struggled. Got off to a really good start in this game, but he did struggle. But I want to talk about the defense. Keegan Murray deserves to be in an all-NBA defensive conversation. He deserves to be talked about as one of the best defenders in the entire league. We'll dive into that and more coming up in just a second. This episode of the Locked On Kings podcast is brought to you by Robinhood. Nobody knows your money goals better than you. Robinhood puts you in control of your money with tools that work as hard as you do. Locking in on every opening, beating your PR, then beating it again. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money, trade stocks and ETFs, options, features, and crypto all on one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood Legends advanced tools, or take advantage of the new Robinhood Strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself, so expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Robinhood, your money, your move. Locked On Kings is also brought to you by Gusto. Let's be real, no one starts a business for the joy of calculating tax withholdings or managing payroll spreadsheets. That's where Gusto comes in, to take the stress out of your payroll, benefits, and HR so you can focus on running your business and supporting your team. Gusto is the all-in-one remote-friendly payroll and HR platform that makes managing your team simple, transparent, and fast. Whether you're hiring, onboarding, or paying employees, Gusto helps you do it all from the one place without the hassle or hidden fees. I'm talking unlimited payroll runs for one monthly price, which means no surprise charges at the end of the month. Gusto's automated tools like offer letters, onboarding materials, and direct deposits save hours of work a week. And knowing that you can reach certified HR experts anytime really will give you the peace of mind that you need. Try Gusto today at gusto.com/lockedonnba and get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. That's right, 3 months of free payroll at Gusto, GUSTO.com/lockedonnba. One more time, that's gusto.com/lockedonnba. When you or I or anyone with an average basketball IQ talks about the best defenders in the NBA, Keegan Murray needs to be in that conversation. Keegan Murray is having a sensational defensive season again. He's built upon last year. He's gotten so much better defensively. I know all of our eyes are on what he can do on the offensive end, and rightfully so. That is still a focus of ours, and it's definitely a focus of his. But do not let that disguise the absolute jump, another jump that he has made on the defensive side of the ball. Remember, Keegan Murray is guarding the opposing team's best player or players every single night. There's no night off where, hey, we have this other really, really good defender that's the same size and plays the same position as you with the same versatility. Keegan, you can take a little bit of the night off tonight and focus more on the offense. That does not exist with Keegan. It has not existed his entire NBA career. And here he is tonight, 2 steals and 4 blocks. Suddenly he's turned into Dikembe freaking Mutombo. He's blocking shots left and right. Here are his last few games. He had 5 blocks versus the Timberwolves, 2 blocks and 2 steals versus the Nuggets, 2 blocks and 2 steals versus the Miami Heat, 2 blocks and 1 steal versus Houston, 3 blocks and 5 steals versus Memphis, 1 block and 3 steals versus Utah, 2 blocks and 2 steals versus Phoenix. All NBA defender. He's doing it all. He's locking up and staying in front of your best player. He's grabbing steals left and right. He's blocking shots left and right. He's bailing out his teammates who are not known for their defense as much as possible. And on top of that, he's being challenged and embracing the challenge of trying to showcase his ability as a top guy on offense. And I know he's still not doing it to the level that we're hoping for. I know offensively, got off to a great start in this game. 11 points in the first quarter, 5 of 6 from the field, knocked down his first 3-point attempt. I was like, oh boy, Keegan Murray is going to give us that big game tonight. I feel it. He's aggressive, going against his twin brother, Chris, who plays for the Trailblazers. And then Keegan's done a lot of kind of what he's done throughout his career. He has these really big quarters, and he kind of just disappears for the rest of the game. Now, unlike in the past, Keegan would disappear because he just would stop shooting the ball, or the Kings would stop giving him the ball. Keegan didn't stop shooting. After the first quarter, Keegan scored just 6 points for the remainder of the game on 3 of 11 shooting from the field. So he kept shooting. He kept trying to score. Had a couple of really, really good dunks in this game. He had one dunk like over 2 or 3 Blazers defenders that was really impressive. He doesn't have these high, flashy, high-flying dunks like Malik Monk does. And we'll talk about Malik, by the way, in just a little bit. Malik got a DNP in this game. What does that mean? We'll talk about that. He doesn't have these, Keegan doesn't do these flashy dunks where you want to get your camera out and record it. But he's gotten so much better at aggressively attacking the basket and finishing at the rim. So much better. He's almost completely flipped the script offensively from his rookie year. Because remember when he was knocking down 3 after 3, shooting over 40% from 3-point range, breaking the record for most threes made as a rookie in NBA history. Remember what Mike Brown was challenging him at the time? Man, Keegan, you need to be more aggressive attacking the basket. I want to see you dunk the basketball. Stop going up for layups. Go up and dunk. If you miss it or you get blocked, whatever, don't care. Go up aggressively. Now here we are in year 4. And Keegan is dunking the ball aggressively, and he can't shoot beyond the 3-point line at all right now. And you can tell he's trying. He's getting good looks. He's not forcing things. You can actually tell that he's passing up more threes because he knows he's not hitting those shots right now, and he knows he's more effective attacking the basket. We got to get that 3-point shot to drop, and we will at some point. But again, do not let that distract you from the fact or take away at all from the fact that Keegan Murray is playing at an all-defensive level this season. And if he continues this for the entire season and the NBA doesn't give him that kind of recognition, shame on them. Because he's been incredible. Incredible defensively. Speaking of incredible, DeMar DeRozan was incredible in this game. 33 points, 10 of 16 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3-point range, 10 of 10 from the foul line. Russell Westbrook, 20 points, 8 of 11 from the field, 10 assists. Like, those two veterans did their jobs in this game. Now, I understand when it came to winning time, when it came to clutch time, like Max was very important during that fourth quarter blitz of a comeback. But it was Russ and DeMar that were very actively involved in that, right? They came alive in the fourth quarter, finally. Great to see. There was absolutely a part of me, and I even tweeted it out as proof, that when the Kings had the ball down by 1 with 16 seconds remaining in overtime, I wanted the Kings to give Keegan or Maxime Reynaud that game-winning opportunity. I wanted to see it. Especially Keegan, right? I know he had barely scored for the remainder of the game outside of that first quarter. And I know the Kings are trying to win that basketball game. DeMar DeRozan's trying to win that basketball game. DeMar ended up taking the shot. He ended up burying it. I'm certainly not mad at it. I'm not going to roll my eyes at it because that is what DeMar's job is, or at least it's supposed to be on this team. That is what he's supposed to do. Unfortunately, he's not doing it for a good basketball team. He's doing it for a bad one where had they won because of that game winner, it ultimately wouldn't have really mattered. So I would have liked to see Keegan get the opportunity to maybe take that shot, or Max, who had a fantastic game, have the opportunity to potentially take that shot. But DeMar took it. He made it. He's made 1 million of those shots in his career. I'm certainly not mad at it. But maybe this is like, I've talked about this earlier. I think this idea of the Kings showcasing talent in order to attract a team to trade for a DeMar DeRozan, I think that's a myth. Right? Teams know, general managers know exactly who DeMar DeRozan is at this point in his career. But there's a little reminder of, hey, contender, you need someone to help get you buckets in important moments in close games, a veteran scorer to rely on for your potential championship run or deep playoff run. DeMar DeRozan's right here. Come and get him. DeMar was very, very good in this game. Again, I just wish it meant more, but he deserves credit because we've been very critical of DeMar and all the veterans. DeMar and Russ stepped up with Zach LaVine out, and it's a shame. It's a shame ultimately they didn't get this victory, but they did their jobs. They did their jobs, and I like the two of them and how they complement a lot of the young guys because as much as we want to say, hey, just throw 5 young guys out there and let them play 48 minutes a night and let them trip over their feet and growing pains, right? I do see Neek and Max especially, and Dylan and Keon and Keegan. I do see them all benefiting from playing with those guys, even if those guys are quote-unquote taking shots away. Not tonight. Max shot more shots than anybody else. Keegan Murray had the most shots on the team through the first, let's say, 15 minutes of this game. DeMar only really started shooting until in the fourth quarter at the end of this game when the comeback was on, and it was clutch time. When he's supposed to, because that's his job. This episode of Locked On Kings is also brought to you by Rocket Money. You ever feel like your money just disappears each month? I know I've felt like that. You get the payday notification that it's in your bank, and you just like to wave at it because you know you're going to blink and poof, it's all gone to those direct deposit or those automatic payments and charges that just pick your pocket clean, right? Well, it happens fast. A few subscriptions here, an impulse buy there. Suddenly the numbers in your bank account don't match the numbers that are in your head. Well, Rocket Money helps you get clarity, track every dollar, and stay in control of your finances because managing your money shouldn't feel like a second job. Rocket Money does the heavy lifting for you so you can save more and stress less. One of the best features of Rocket Money, they find and list out all of your subscriptions, the one you know about, the ones you forgot, how much you're paying for each one, and they make it easy to cancel those subscriptions at any time. They can even help cancel those subscriptions for you. Their bill alerts and spending notifications help you catch small things before they turn into big things, help you track exactly where your money is going. Just a couple of examples of how Rocket Money truly helps you take control of your finances and cancel your unwanted subscriptions. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Kings fans, myself included, we caught on pretty quickly at the end of the first quarter when the Kings scored 40 points and had the lead. Wait a minute. Malik Monk hasn't played. And then the second quarter kept going. We got midway to the end of the second quarter. Then we got to halftime, and Malik Monk still hasn't played. Jason Anderson, who covers the Kings for the Sacramento Bee, is out there in Portland, is inquiring, like, is he hurt? Is something going on? No, he's fine. He's good to go. Doug's just not playing him. Well, maybe is he potentially available? Like, are there trade conversations happening right now? Like he's close to being dealt and it could be dealt at any minute? No, that's not what's going on. Doug Christie just did not play Malik Monk. And look, even with Zach LaVine out with injury, somebody's got to sacrifice their minutes. The Kings have, and they have had, a log jam at the guard position. And usually it's Keon Ellis that's been the one taking those DNPs and taking those less minutes when he shouldn't. But if he's going to play and get the opportunity, which of course he did in this game, which is the right thing for Doug Christie to do, after saying earlier in the week that they're focusing on more of a developmental focus, it's the right thing to do. Malik Monk was the guy that had his minutes taken away tonight. Now, I personally don't believe that Malik Monk deserves to ride the pine until he's traded or until somebody else gets hurt. I don't think he's a good basketball player. Malik Monk's a really, really good and really important member of this Sacramento Kings team. Has been. That hasn't suddenly changed, even if he's been struggling at times, even if his assist numbers are down. So I wonder, and I don't know if this is insane or not, you tell me, does Doug Christie go and approach each game and essentially go to a different veteran and have some kind of like rotation of, hey, tonight's going to be the night that you take a seat. Tonight's going to be the night that you don't play at all or only play a little bit so that we can get Neek and Max and Keon all and these minutes that they need to get. This is where we're transitioning as a franchise. A lot of us would say, well, take some minutes away from Russ, take some minutes away from DeMar. Remember, Zach LaVine's not playing right now, too. And when he comes back, he's going to be reevaluated in a week with his ankle sprain. It's going to make things even more difficult. I don't think Malik deserves to be DNP'd again when the Kings play the Portland Trailblazers in the Golden One Center on Saturday. So, is it Dennis Schroeder that gets the DNP that game? I don't think you can ever once DNP Russ or DeMar, but you can severely kind of put a stranglehold on their minutes. It's something that's going to be interesting to see how Doug navigates that. Or maybe it is Keon and Malik are going to flip-flop. You get the DNP tonight, you get the DNP tonight, or you get less minutes tonight. I don't know. I don't know how Doug's going to handle it, but Malik getting the DNP I think is interesting. Like I said, I haven't heard any inklings of a trade for Malik. I do know that there are teams that are interested in Malik and have maybe had preliminary conversations with the Sacramento Kings about potentially trading for Malik, but that comes as no surprise as we're past the December 15th date and the trade season is opened, I suppose. Like, the Kings are going to get calls around about Malik. They're going to have conversations about everybody on this roster. That's what they're supposed to do. I don't think there's any reason to believe anything is further along than that. So I don't think it's a situation of the Kings are trying to trade Malik right now or they've got something lined up. Maybe they do, and I just have no idea about it. That's certainly possible. But we've been given no indication at this time, and I've been given no tips at this time to believe that is the case. I do want to give Malik some love, though, because even though he got the DNP tonight, he was up cheering on the bench the entire game. You see him during that overtime run, during that fourth quarter comeback, Malik is up and going nuts during that comeback, which was really, really cool to see. So shout out Malik Monk for not having an attitude about it and being a great teammate, which we know he is. I want to talk about Neek Clifford really quick before we wrap up, because Neek, 8 points, 3 of 6 from the field, 2 rebounds, played 20 minutes. There were some good things from Neek tonight. I was happy with a lot of what I saw from Neek, especially in that first half. I thought Neek's shot selection and decision-making was actually really good in this game. I thought offensively the Kings were giving him opportunities to handle the basketball a little bit more. He was doing a good job kind of getting downhill, got to the rim a couple of times, got to his spots for some mid-range jumpers. Some of them didn't fall, some of them did. I just felt like Neek was being more aggressive. I still feel like when I watch Neek Clifford play that he doesn't quite know how he fits offensively. And I don't think that's strictly a Sacramento Kings thing, although we know the Kings offense doesn't really have that great of a flow and a fit with this roster. I think that's Neek kind of finding his way in the NBA. Like, what is he? Where am I going to be most effective on the offensive side of the ball? It just still looks like he's figuring that out in real time. So I look forward to seeing how that progresses through the remainder of the season. But I thought there were some little victories for Neek in this game. Liked some of the things that he did and hope to see more of that. I really want to see, I hope to see this same kind of effort, this same kind of play from hopefully the same guys getting a similar amount of playing time when the Kings play in the Golden One Center on Saturday. Because even if the result was the exact same, even if the Kings had lost, can you imagine how the Golden One Center crowd, granted if it's half full, 3/4 of the way full, who knows? But whoever's there is going to respond and show a lot of love to Max for how he played tonight, the young guys for how he played tonight, even the veterans for how they played tonight. This version of the Sacramento Kings, they're not good. It's not all of a sudden a good team, but it's entertaining. You can get behind it, and you understand its purpose. I understand the purpose of the Sacramento Kings. I understood exactly what they were trying to do tonight. They were focused on trying to win the basketball game for sure, but doing it while developing their young guys and giving them the opportunity. If those young guys went out and won the game, great. You gave them that chance. Kings fans are going to respond to that. So I hope we see this same kind of effort, this same kind of play when the Kings play 2 home games, I believe, this weekend. Very much looking forward to that. If you're going to any of those games, hit me up. Let me know. I sit at the top of section 105. That's the media section. Come by and say hi. Would love to see you. This game, it's nice to, even with the result and Mark Davis's god-awful foul call, it's nice to feel good after a game. We haven't had that too many times this season. I feel very good about the Sacramento Kings after this game in particular. I enjoyed this game. I had a lot of fun watching it. There is more good than bad to take from this game, that's for sure. And that's fun to be able to say here on Locked On Kings. Appreciate your support as always. Can't wait to have you join me on the next episode of the Locked On Kings podcast. Until then, my name is Matt George. You've been listening to Locked On Kings, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.